This is the skull of Arsinoe IV, the younger sister of Cleopatra, or so we thought until research published this year shows it's actually the skull of an 11-year-old boy who possibly had Treacher-Collins syndrome. So yeah, all those researchers talking about how this is the skull of a young woman were completely wrong. Now, the skeleton was discovered during excavations of the Octagon in Ephesus in 1929, so almost 100 years ago, and at the time, only the skull was removed for some reason we don't know why. Arsinoe is the younger sister of Cleopatra, and she's famous for helping to lead the siege of Alexandria. She was, however, unfortunately defeated by Julius Caesar. Arsinoe was allowed to claim sanctuary in the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. This is what we think it might have looked like, and then this is what you see when you're there. But I digress. Arsinoe wouldn't have the protection of the temple forever, as around 6 or 7 years later, Cleopatra would actually order Mark Antony to execute her sister on the temple steps. But anyway, this explains why it was kind of assumed that this skeleton found inside such a prominent building in Ephesus might likely be Arsinoe. But finally, almost 100 years after it was first discovered, the skull and some of the rest of the bones underwent testing, and in the genome, they found the Y chromosome. This means the skeleton is not that of a female. Earlier researchers had claimed that the individual was around 20 years old when they passed. However, this recent analysis found that they were actually between 11 to 14 years old, but certainly not in their early 20s. While studying the skull to try and determine if it was Arsinoe IV, the researchers came across something completely unexpected: evidence of a genetic disorder. While we don't have the lower jaw, we do have the upper jaw, and that was severely underdeveloped. And I'm not going to go into all the details of what exactly they found because there's very technical language, and if you are interested in that, please go read the original paper. But what's important to note is that this individual has visible facial differences. While they're unable to definitively say what caused these facial differences, genetic or otherwise, one explanation given was that it's possibly Treacher-Collins syndrome. Science has been able to return the identity of this individual to their remains, and that's beautiful, but a lot of questions still remain. First of all, why was this young boy buried inside such a prominent and ornate building in Ephesus, and who actually is he? But as the researchers say, they hope that their work will help in the study of these 2 individuals to be free of the biases and assumptions which previously plagued them, and perhaps they can be just a little bit more scientific.